What is up, guys? Abixis here. We're going right into the patch notes for Season 11. I'm a little late on this. I apologize, and you guys probably already watched this, but I'm going to do it anyway because, yeah, that's what I do. We're going to get right into this. I'm going to fly through these because these videos don't need to be entertaining. They just want to be informational. So let's get right into it. Rank percentage is now displayed on the competitive progress page, allowing you to check your exact percentage without playing another match. I don't actually know what this means. I didn't run into any issues with this. But, yeah. Renamed the modifiers win streak and loss streak to win trend and loss trend to more accurately convey that these modifiers are calculated by weighing the most recent games more heavily. But they are not true streaks. Wow. They are robbing us of our win streaks and loss streaks. Unbelievable. Better queue times for wide groups. This is honestly a must. I think this was something I was starting to get very aggravated with. Feels like Overwatch 2 fixed the queue times. And then they were back to being like Overwatch 1. So, good. Now let's get into what everyone actually wants to talk about. Hero updates. Knockdown times when charging two abilities collide reduced to 2 to 1.7. So if you run into somebody with a Rhine and a Doomfist, lower the knockdown time. Not going to be too big of a change, I don't think, but something interesting. Diva. Fusion Cannon weapon spread reduced by a decent margin, so this should allow her to be more effective against smaller targets, hitting smaller hitboxes, and booster damage increased by 10. I do like this. I think it's a very small but noticeable change for Diva, and I guess should make her pretty good because I already thought she was alright. Junker Queen. Jagged Blade, which is your knife throw, now pulls tanks farther, so that'll help negate some of the tank knockback issue. Rampage, her ult startup time reduced, so she will now fire the ult off quicker. That is good because that ult is very easy to counter, especially in higher level play. So keep that in mind. This is now going to fire off a little bit quicker if you're playing her, or if you're playing against her, maybe get out of the way. Orisa, cooldown reduced from 9 to 8 seconds on Javelin Spin. Now, I don't really know if Orisa needed this to be reverted, but apparently they think she got a little bit too over-nerfed, so they're going to be reducing it. I think Orisa will still be pretty viable in many situations. Roadhog. Base health reduced by 50, that's always a killer. Health drops are always something that is a huge alteration to a character. People don't realize usually how much that it drastically affects them, but 50 should be pretty noticeable. And take a breather damage reduction now reduced from 50 to 40. Now I think this is due to the fact that Roadhog was seeing an extremely heavy amount of use and success in low elo ranked solo queue, but I don't know, I didn't find him to be that oppressive that it needed a major nerf. I think one of these things would have been fine, but this will definitely hurt him a decent chunk. Oh boy, thank the Lord. Cassidy nerfs. I think these were necessary. Let's take a look. Peacekeeper, secondary fire, fan the hammer, which is just your secondary fire, reduced from 50 to 45. Okay. Combat roll damage reduction dropped by 25%. That is pretty big. Okay, so there's a complete change here. Magnetic grenade ability is now flashbang. Hinders enemies instead of stunning them for 1.2 seconds. Movement speed reduction increased from 30 to 50%. Hinder now prevents crouching movement. 45 explosive damage and 12-second cooldown. They cannot figure out what they want to do with this McCree ability, and I'm getting really a little bit sick of them just constantly overworking this thing. Find something that works, please, and stick to it. It's getting, like, for more casual players, I'm sure this has to be frustrating to not know what this ability is doing half the damn time. So come on, Blizzard, get this shit together. Deadeye, movement speed penalty now scales down over time. 70% to 35, so he will be able to move quick right when it starts, allowing him to, like, pop it, peek out of a corner. Interesting. I don't know if it was necessary, but it's interesting. And damage reduction now scales down over time from 40 to 0%. Wow. Interesting changes to Cray here. We'll see how these affect him. May, everybody's favorite character. Endothermic Blaster, secondary fire projectors. Oh my lord. Secondary fire-based projectile size reduced from 0.15 to 0.12, smaller base box for the projectiles. Secondary fire damage increased, so she is now going to be a little bit easier to kaboom, snipe you from a long distance, and do some actual damage now. 10 more damage, just decent, and it's going to be a little harder to hit, a little bit less chunky. Don't think that'll change May very much. Reaper always needed some buffs, that's for sure. Weapon spread reduced from 6.5 to 6 degrees. This will probably allow him to hit more accurate shots, but less spread. And Shadow Step cast time is down. Now that honestly is interesting. Cast time down by 0.3 is pretty noticeable in game. And this should help Reaper really kind of get out of the situations a little quicker. I don't think this will buff him a ton, but a little bit of a nudge in the right direction. Sojourn, Railgun, secondary fire damage scaling reduced from 30 to 130 down to 1 to 100. Secondary fire projectiles no longer require overclock to pierce enemy players. Primary fire shots per second increase. So she's going to shoot faster, do less damage with the railgun. And alt, energy charge rate increase. So now she fires off her alt more. So basically it'll make her more dangerous at her alt, a little less dangerous with her base railgun, and more of a Soldier 76 style, fighting more with her base gun. It kind of just levels out all of her stuff, and I think this actually is a decent change. Symmetra. Base health increased from 100 to 125. Total health increased from 250 to 275. Yep, Symmetra definitely looks like a tank. She should be running around full Doomfist. Photon projector, primary fire rate increased 25%. All of you guys that don't like Sim, I am sorry, this is a big change. This is probably going to make Sim relatively viable, or at least I should say not relatively viable, but relatively stronger than she was. And yeah, Alari. Outburst damage increased from 10 to 25. Decent, interesting change, and again, not sure if it was necessary, but it's nice. Healing Pylon. Healing Pylon projectile increased from 30 to 40. Pylon healing is now only half as effective when targeting herself. That makes her less dually. And max health on the Pylon increased. These changes to Alari are decent. I don't think they're all that crazy, but they are pretty solid, and I think they're good. Kiriko. Cooldown increased on Swift Step. Fair enough. It's a strong ability. 1 second is pretty substantial in games. So that is a nice little change because she has been very strong. Protection Suzu no longer cleanses hard knockdown stuns. Now, as somebody who likes playing Kiriko, I kind of agree with this change completely. I don't believe it should cleanse things like Rhine knockdown and stuff. I think that is a solid update. Now, it is going to hurt her quite a bit, but honestly, it's going to make Kiriko what she originally was supposed to be, which is a hard-to-play, hard-to-master support that is rewarding if you play her to the fullest extent. Protection Suzu will still be extremely strong for cleansing effects and protecting people if you can time it right, but it is no longer a fix-all. So Kiriko will still be really good at the high level, but maybe not get as much value in the baseline, skill floor. So I like that. Coliseum, before and after, we got some changes here for Coliseum. So they removed some of the walls here to allow you to have a little bit more open entrance at the push pod. And overall, just kind of looks like they they added some cover in certain areas and changed a few things. Overall, these are impossible to tell you if they're good on looking at a picture. I can kind of theorize, but really, we're gonna have to play them and find out. Increased push robot speed by 10% when pushing the barricade. Wow. That is probably going to feel pretty substantial. I don't know how it'll affect it, but I think overall it is pretty good. And I believe the last thing I can tell you about is that we are getting... I thought we were getting a new map. Yep, Ruin Sepi. Which is a push map. So keep in mind that is going to be probably in the competitive pool. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned please for the tier list coming up. Patch notes just break down what's happening. The tier list will tell you who I believe you should be playing in your low elo matches to help climb. Comment down below if you have any questions. Comment down below for video ideas. And yeah, if you haven't already, go check out the community tab. We got some polls for Overwatch and other things, other types of games. If you like other stuff, we have Minecraft and a few other videos on the channel. Subscribe if you like it, like if you do, dislike if you don't, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck and have a great day.